In this series, we're going to show you what a Porsche SUV is. Here at Porsche Clearwater with the 2023 Porsche Cayenne in white over black, and then we're going to take you through the interior to show you the new PCM that was implemented last year, finally giving us Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay. And then I'm going to explain the differences between a Maserati, a Mercedes, and BMW, showing you the comparison between them and what a Porsche Cayenne is. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. Porsche Cayenne has optional PASM, which is Porsche Adaptive Air Suspension, which will increase your ride height to over 8 inches, which will make this the best for clearance. PDLS, or Porsche Dynamic Lighting System, which is a LED headlight system. 4-point LED daytime running lights. And on the lower, you're going to get the matte black finished with the gloss, and it will not share any similarities to the Audi, whether it's the Q7 or the Q8. It will keep the Porsche heritage of a sports car designed into an SUV. 21-inch exclusive design wheels, HG black, include wheel arched paint. The front disc has 6 pistons, aluminum monoblock fixed calipers, 390 millimeters, vented, or 16.3 inches. The rear has 4 pistons, aluminum monoblock fixed calipers with 330 millimeters, vented brakes, or 14.4 inches. You're going to receive bigger brakes than you will for the Maserati, BMW, or Mercedes. Fully galvanized steel, aluminum hybrid lightweight body shell. The hood, tailgate, doors, fenders, and roof in aluminum. Integrated Porsche 4D chassis control. Steel spring suspension. More dynamics, the weight distribution will be a near 50-50 for the Maserati, and the same thing goes with the BMW. When you go to Mercedes and Porsche, the geometry is a little bit different. Porsche Traction Management, or PTM, which is an active all-wheel drive with electronically mapped control, multi-plate clutch with automatic brake differential and anti-slip, keeping a traditional look instead of giving us that slope roofline like they do for the Levante, whereas you will lose interior space and cargo capacity. Best-in-class towing at 7,700 pounds. Now this does match the GLE 450, and the reason why I'm picking that particular vehicle is because the length dimensions is pretty much the same as this one. 193.6 inches. A wheelbase, 113.9 inches. 3-dimensional LED tail lights with integrated 4-point brake lights and light strip. A max payload at 1,657 pounds, and that's the best-in-class payload, beating Maserati and BMW. Power liftgate going inside to 27.2 cubic feet with a 12-volt tuck right here, a large storage pocket underneath. We're going to get a spare tire and some more storage. We have the privacy cover. Split fold the rear bench at a 40-20-40 split, increasing cargo to 60.3 cubic feet, which is nearly 3 cubic feet more than the Maserati Levante. It is going to be less than the Mercedes and the BMW. Twin scroll turbo. Let's go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. And they backed the performance with a 3.0-liter turbocharged V6, producing 335 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed Tiptronic S automatic transmission, achieving 17 to 22 mpgs, reaching 60 at 5.9 seconds with the chrono package at 5.6, quarter mile around 14.4 seconds with a top speed at 152 miles per hour. Now what does Porsche give us for numbers? It's going to be less torque torque than the Q8. When you get the Chrono package, it will be the same 0 to 60 number. It will be faster than the Maserati Levante, but it will have less torque. It will be faster in the quarter mile. The BMW xDrive 40i will have the same horsepower and torque. As you go up to the 45e, that will change and have more horsepower and torque. The Mercedes-Benz GLE 450, it's going to have some more torque as well. So it's not going to be the fastest variant, but when you option it with the Chrono package, it does decrease that 0 to 60 speed, and you have good quarter mile and top speed. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2023 Porsche Cayenne as we go inside, go over the tech, and take this for our drive. Going inside the Porsche Cayenne. Soft closed doors, it is an added feature. Headroom is no issue, nor is leg space. You're going to have more interior space than the Maserati Levante. 16-way power seat adjustments for the front occupants. Heated, ventilated. We get the Porsche badging. The dash is your standard Porsche design with the gloss black. The new PCM or Porsche Communication Management was implemented last year. We have navigation with the pinch and the swipe. Click into the home button, and this is going to be your quick wedges that you can just toggle through here. You just tap onto it, click into that car icon. We have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, voice recognition. The 6th generation also gets over-the-air updates. Put it into reverse. We have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory, front and rear parking sensors. When you click onto the icons on the side, it will change different camera positions. Working underneath, you're going to have all of your button layouts with the gloss black that's surrounding it. So your dual climate control settings are up here with your volume to turn on and off the audio sound system. This rotary knob will go for your infotainment screen so you can zoom in or zoom out when you're in your navigation. Driver mode for individual and sport, in an area here that you can put that key fob with your grab handles on both sides. 12 volt is going to be between the cup holders. It's going to be more sport derived, and it opens up into a wireless charging pad, 2 USB ports, and a little storage pocket. The steering wheel is a leather wrap, 3-spoke, multi-function with the paddle shifters. The multi-functionality goes into these 2 7-inch TFT displays. So on the left side of the steering wheel, that will control the left information. On the right side of the steering wheel, that will control the right side of your information. The door panel and the dash configured together. Memory seats for both the front occupants. The gloss black comes into play. 1 touch up and down for the windows. It's going to be more sport derived for your elbows. The same grab handle that's in the center and a long storage pocket. For the back seat, headroom is absolutely no issue, nor is leg space, and I'm 6'3". The door panel gets your everyday materials in the back with the gloss black, more sport derived, and the same grab handle that's in the front, a smaller storage pocket. This is also 4-way adjustable, so you can fold it back, you can fold it forward, and you can also move it up and move it back. So that way you can get optimal cargo space. In the center, we get your air vents, a storage pocket, 12 volt, 2 USB-C ports, and another storage tray, and we have storage behind both of the front seats. Sitting into the center, the same thing. Headroom is no issue. Leg space, I'm almost touching the back of the driver's seat in the position that I'd be sitting. I am sharing feet, butt, and shoulder space, but that's only because the seat isn't so wide in the back. The actual interior, though, has enough width to fit 3 adults without any issues. 335 horsepower. We got it in sport mode. Look at this. And your brakes. That's why you want a 6 and 4 piston setup, so you can actually enjoy the vehicle on a short or long journey any day. There we go. She gets up to speed really good without any issues or hesitation. The Maserati Levante will have more power, but it will be slower than this vehicle. So it just tells you right there that it doesn't necessarily matter if you have a lot of horsepower or torque. It matters how it's used and distributed, and Porsche does a great job doing both 2 of those, giving that extra kick in which other variants don't give. Now, obviously, if you go to the Q8, torque is going to be more. But in the same category, you have to consider the MSRP is right at almost the same price as this. So would you rather have a Porsche or an Audi? And then looking at the Mercedes-Benz, Well, that one's going to be a little bit less expensive, obviously. It's going to have more horsepower and torque, but you're only a few tenths of a second quicker 0 to 60, and the quarter mile is pretty close and similar. Super quiet in the interior, and the way the seats are, very comfortable to ride. You have enough seat settings too, and you also have the power seat adjustments for your cushion extensions, which is something that I always like, in which you don't get that with Maserati. The Levante doesn't have as many power seat adjustments. For the BMW X5 xDrive 40i, another great vehicle, it's obviously going to be a little bit less expensive. This is the same power derived underneath it with horsepower and torque. As for the geometry, it's going to be a little bit better with the BMW and the Maserati, but for a fun to drive everyday vehicle that packs performance, this ticks the box, and that's going to take me to some things I like and dislike, and that's what we're going to start talking about right now. What I like about the vehicle is you can tow 7,700 pounds in a Porsche. Where can you do that in other rivals like BMW? It's not going to happen. Or Maserati. The second thing that I like about it is you have so much more room in the interior, and this is not the longest variant. The Maserati Levante is longer, and yet this one has more interior space, more cargo capabilities, more payload. It just has a more everyday usable transition for an SUV. The last thing that I like is how elegant the interior setup is. I know there's a lot going on, and that's kind of a disadvantage for me. One of the things that I dislike, because when you first get the vehicle, it is a lot to swallow for your heated, ventilated seats, sport mode, this and this and this, but it's clean. Giving a little go on the interstate. Stays nice and quiet, composed. These are upgraded wheels. It does alter the ride a little bit. You will feel some of the bumps, but it's still very quiet for the most part. It's not as Audi quiet, but when you put optional 21-inch wheels or anything that's bigger than the standard size, you're going to start hearing road noise filter in. It's the same case in the Audi. The second thing that I dislike is the grab handles that's right here on the center cluster. They're usable, don't get me wrong, I kind of use it. It's just, it would be nice if it was more elegant, because they did such a good job cleaning up this design with the gloss black and the button. Give her a little go, because there's a cop there. And you can see it doesn't have any issues getting up to speed for performance. Looking through the windscreen, it's large enough. The A-pillars are pushed back. The last thing that I dislike is the gauge cluster is not fully digital, and when you're comparing it to all of the rivals, except for the Maserati, they are now going that direction, which makes it a little bit more simpler, but in the disadvantage to that is ultimately whenever they start adapting where you can integrate your smartphone configuration into your infotainment and your gauge cluster, it's going to really make it where everybody has the same thing. It's just a TV screen. So I do kind of like that they still keep a traditional look. It just would look a little bit more sporty. Individual mode, it does feel like it takes a little bit longer. When you put it into sport, it just livens up tremendously. So if you do get this variant, you may be driving it more so on sport than individual. Taking it back to the competition, whether it's Maserati, BMW, Mercedes, or even Audi, all of them are going to be right at the same price point. BMW and Mercedes will be the least expensive variants. However, you're not going to have the same capabilities with the payload and the towing for the BMW. The Mercedes will match the towing, payload will be more in this. The interior space will also have more head and leg room in this model compared to those. For your daily comfort use, this is going to be something that has that, plus it still has the performance numbers. You have your adaptive cruise control. Obviously, you're going to pay extra for these features. I'd like to thank Porsche Clearwater for giving us this 2023 Porsche Cayenne for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video and the subscribe button. Check out the merchandise, website, Instagram, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.